Cambridge Springs Public Library. Welcome to CrafterNOONs. I have my assistant Angus here because it's Love Your Dog Week today at Cambridge, or this week at Cambridge Springs Public Library. Angus is a 10-year-old Scottish Terrier, and we have another dog, Pirate, and you'll see him if you join me for story time on Thursday. So that'll give an incentive for you to join me. So today we're going to be doing a craft that we're going to paint our dog's paws and create some art with it. So I'll show you kind of where we're going to start with that. This is obviously not finished. I mean, you know, if you give up at this point, then I guess you're finished. But we've got more to do for that. So a couple of things to start with is make sure you trim the hair on your dog's paws down a lot. I thought that I had trimmed it down enough, and I really hadn't. Your dogs will make it interesting. So Angus, can you get that, my little camera lady? Angus now has some orange fur on his head because when I was painting his brother's foot, he thought he needed to be up close and personal. And it's always a good idea to pay your assistant. Angus, here you go. So make sure your models get paid. Okay. So, like I said, first of all, we started off with this. This happens to be just one of those really thin canvases that you can buy in like a 3-pack. But since we're trying to stay home, I'm trying to think of things that you know we happen to have at home. Not everybody has these canvases. I happen to. You can use a piece of cardboard. You can use a piece of thick paper. You can use a piece of thin paper if you just want to frame it afterwards, or not. You can just do this for fun. Don't feel like you have to frame it. You can just do this and enjoy the process. So I painted mine with just some blue and white paint and let it dry. And then I got Angus and Pirate and I did their paw prints. I think that this would work really nicely with ink. It would come out with really, really crisp. I didn't have ink, so I used some paint. And you can see some of them are better than others. That's my best one, I think. And also because working with animals is challenging, my little orange and yellow flowers have a little green in them because we had a little struggle when we were trying to do our prints. So once you get to this point, then we're going to do some stems and leaves, and we're going to do up the centers of the flower with like the stamens and the pistils. Think back to 8th grade science class. So we're going to, and I have my lovely assistant helping me film, and I am by no means an artist, but I'm just going to try my best here to create this and create it upside down for you guys. So be generous while you're watching this, because it's certainly not my forte. I read books, you guys, but you know, it's fun to create things. So I've got some yellow. The green I have is a little dark. I wanted it to look a little more springy, so I did some yellow and green, and there's some white. And so you can just drag the colors kind of over here and see if you get something that's really pleasing to you, to your eye. It's for you. So guys, you can do this however you want. And now each of these flowers needs a stem. And I'm going to try and stay with kind of one paintbrush because I don't know how much in the way of art supplies you guys have. But the key with painting is the lighter the touch, the thinner the line. So if you drag a big heavy line or big heavy touch, you're going to have a fat line. If you have a really light touch, it's going to be a really light wispy stem or leaf that you're dealing with. Now, obviously, these are dog paw prints. We are not looking towards realism here, guys. So, I mean, they can be made up flowers. That's what mine are going to be. I'm not aiming towards anything that, oh, and then you put your arm in the paint, towards anything that can be identified in nature, okay? So, just a really nice thin line. And you see if you use some different colors in there, that It gives a little variegation in the stem. I lifted up a little too early there, and that's okay, right? Now, you see these ones that are way up here, don't feel like you have to draw a stem right down to there. So, you know what? They're hanging out behind here, and they might be covered by leaves later. We don't know, right? And you should have a little water here, because sometimes your paint gets just a smidge thick, and you need to thin it out. And I hope everybody's enjoying their daffodils. I know mine were looking pretty snazzy, and then they got snowed on, and then they still looked pretty sunny. I couldn't tell the difference after they kind of melted off. Okay, now we're going to do some leaves. And like I said, this is pretend stuff, guys. So however you want your leaves to look is just fine. Most of the time when you see a leaf, it's attached to the stem by a thin, little stem. So I start off kind of thin, and then I make a little wiggly leaf, right? Might round it off on the top. Do the same here. Feel like that needs just a little more paint, maybe for a little texture. You don't have to make your paint all flat. You can leave a little texture in there. Up here we have another leaf. Here we've got some more. I'm not even worried if it doesn't touch the stem. You're the boss of this, right? Some more. Now, do you see how I added a little of that dark green in there? I kind of like that. Give it a little variegation. You are the boss. Oh, that is very dark. That is very dark. So let's come in with some white. Maybe we'll rinse our brush off here. Now, if you make a mistake like that, oh, let's not call it a mistake. Let's say you make an artistic decision like that and you're not a fan. For goodness sakes, it's paint, and we're in quarantine, and see, look at there. I'm not going to tell anybody. We'll just go right over that. There. Love it. Okay. So I did like, when I was doing a little bit of practicing, is I was taking some of this very dark green and doing some accents with it, and I did kind of like that. And so just zhoosh it on there. That's certainly an art term, right? Zhoosh? I guess. I don't know. There. Yeah, I like that. Now you can add, whatever you want to this, but I do want to get to doing the centers of your flowers, because you can leave them like this, but I think that I would like to add some centers. So I am going to use a smaller brush like this, and you can see none of these are expensive brushes, you guys. It's choose what you got. I mean, we're just doing the best we can in this situation. If we can find a little joy while we're doing it, then gosh, that's what we'll do. So a lot of flowers have some of this going on. And like I said, I am not at all trying to make this look like a flower in nature. Do some of that. And then I'm going to show you how we can do, oh, I didn't get enough paint on there, how we can do kind of the ends of those. So watch this business. All right, so it's nice, you know, they've got the little stamens, maybe, but I always like it when you can add these little dots to it. And all I did was put the other end of my paintbrush in a little bit of white and dot it onto the canvas. And that adds some really nice accents on there. Don't forget to wipe the end of your brush off, or yeah, the end of your brush off. And then if you want to go through and get fancier and accent these so that they more resemble petals, you can do that with some of your solid colors. Maybe we'll cover up the green that my canine assistants helped me with. And whoops, I forgot to do those, the ones from here. But look, none the wiser, right? You can use some yellow and do that one. And I didn't wash my brush in between. Yellow and orange are super nice together. It makes it super sunny and lovely.